last video here, please make sure you have your graphing calculator handy. We're going to talk about how to use our graphing calculator to do linear regression. Right, so we have a whole bunch of 100-meter dash times here, and it's going to ask us to make predictions that what's going to happen in the year 1988 and 1986, and talk about what the slope of the line means. So it gives us a whole bunch of points here. So at 1952, the record was 11.4 seconds, and 1960 was 11.3, 1972, 11.07, and 1984 it was 10.76. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this year 0 here. So this point is going to be 0, 11.4, which means that this point is going to be 8, 11.3, which means that this one will be 20, 11.07, and this one will be 32, 10.76. And that's just simply to make it a little bit easier to type these things into a calculator. And again, we'll just have to make sure that we know that our x value will be years since 1952 when we go to solve and work with this. So we're going to hop over our calculator and we're going to enter these values into our calculator. So the first thing that we are going to hit is the stat button, which is right here, and then we are going to hit enter and go to edit. At this point, we should see a whole bunch of lists. Yours may look a little bit different, but just make note of whatever list that you have, because that's whatever list we enter into is going to, we're going to need to know that we're going to create our equation. So the L1 for me is going to be all of my x values. So I'm going to enter 0, hit enter. I'm going to enter 8, hit enter, 20, hit enter, and 32, and hit enter. Now I'm going to hit the right arrow and go over to L2, and I'm going to put all of those y values, which was the times. So 11.4, enter, 11.3, enter, 11.07, enter, and 10.76, and hit enter. Right, so there now I have my x values in the L1 column. I have my y values in the L2 columns. At this point, I'm going to hit second quit, and that's going to take me back to our screen that we usually do for calculations. I am going to hit again the stat button, and this time I'm going to go over to the right arrow to calc, and the one that I'm going to hit is number 4, linear regression. The big thing here is make sure that you have your list correctly. So in my case, the X list was an L1, the Y list was an L2. If it was different, what you'll have to do is hit second list, and then you can hit enter in and change those values whichever you want. But I don't need to do that because the ones that I'm dealing with are correct. So again, I'll go back to stat, go to calc, go to linear regression. I'm going to hit enter through all of these. Everything looks great in my situation, and I'm going to hit enter here. So what I can see is that my A, which is the slope, is negative 0.02, and my y-intercept is 11.43. And now I'm going to go back and use this now to answer the questions that they were looking for. Equation down to y equals negative 0.02x plus 11.43. I'm just going to round to 2 decimal places. So it asked me to make the prediction in 1986. So again, we have to figure out what our x value is. So 1986 minus 1952 is going to give us 34. So to find that value, I'm going to do negative 0.02 times 34 plus 11.43. And that should give me the estimated time for what we predict is going to happen in 1986. So it'll be negative 0.02 times 34 plus 11.43. So that prediction will be 10.75 seconds. Okay, and then if we're to do it for 88, all we're going to do is just change the 34 in this equation. I just can go up, hit enter, and just change the 34 to 36. So it'll be 10.71 seconds. for 1988. So, and then it asks you to interpret the slope here. So the slope's negative, which means that it's decreasing. And what it means is that each year, the total time goes down by 2/100ths of a second. So we're getting faster. So at this point, if you need to go, please watch any of the videos again. But otherwise, you can move on to the check for understanding.